Hello, and welcome to Huntington State Park, where we'll be on the orange course. Now, I've been here before, and I feel very silly because instead of really orienting myself to the map before punching, I hit go and then okay, let's get ourselves started. But anyway, we figured that out. We've cut over now to this track, and instead of going on a straight line, which would have been slow and silly, we're going to go right down the track to the bottom of the hill, past a stone wall and a man with his dog, and a control that is for a different course. And then we'll come up, and as we approach, even before we get to the trail that signals turn off here, we see the control, which is at the corner of a fence. Okay, off to control 2. Now, we could go in a straight line if we want to swim. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to grab the trail that we're already on and come down to the road here and then go past the water instead of swimming it. That goldenrod area indicates an open area, which is the parking lot. And we'll now come over to this road, dirt road track. Every dirt road will become a track if it's not maintained. And then we'll cut over. And this one is also on the fence, but instead of at a corner, it's along a section of the fence. Or fence posts. It's an intermittent fence. Okay, off for number 3. Now, we're going to pull to the right, unfortunately. I didn't realize it at the time. People tend to pull left or right. I think I do a little of both, which doesn't help me at all. We're passing some stone walls and rock piles, and this is a reminder that original New England stone walls were not so much barriers as they were linear dumps. The New England potatoes would come up each season, and a farmer would set them aside if they were plowing. If it was grazing, they'd only do it once, and so they'd only have large rocks to pull out. Sometimes we also see rock dumps. But it's worth noting, had I really thought this through, what I might have done is instead of attempting to go on a particular azimuth, is instead treat this stone wall as a catchment and then move down to the corner of it and use that as an attack point. But I didn't. So we'll carry on past the stone walls and leaving the control, unfortunately, to our left. What we're going to end up doing is coming up to the road, what was a road, right above the 3. There's a stone wall and a cleared road that was more clear, I'm sure, 5-10 years ago. There's the stone wall. This is me realizing, okay, I'm on the road. Now, I am familiar with this road from past orienteering experiences. So, figuring out exactly where I am on the road by looking at the contour lines and the lay of the land, I know to move down to right about here and then cut in. And there it is in something of Oreintering. And there's a couple other orienteers. Other people in the course can give you useful information, but it also can be a red herring. I think they were either on the orange course or doing one that shared some controls. Okay, number 3 is another time we're going to pull to the right. Going from 3 to 4 rather. So we'll go up over the road, which is flanked by stone walls. And I think I'm running on an azimuth, but it turns out I'm pulling to the right. And I think one of the things that's happening is I'm kind of getting seduced by these rocks. I'm thinking the control I'm looking for, it looks to be a hilltop or knoll, kind of like a knuckle, if you will, surrounded by rocks. There's lots of rocks and such here, so this must be it. No. The green indicates some vegetation that can trip you up or slow you down, which we're seeing here. And a lot of rocks. But they're not the right rocks. And after a bit of looking around and head scratching, I start to realize my mistake, and I've got a good idea where I'm at and where I need to go. So we're going to pull down into this valley, past that stone wall and trail, which tells us where we are. That's handy. It also makes us feel a bit silly. And feeling silly as I do, I've really got my head on a swivel, and I'm trying to not miss something by accident. You know, confidence can breed success or disaster, and a lack of confidence will definitely slow you down and make you doubt yourself at times. But here we go. All right, just off to the side.
P7.
Pile of rocks. Okay. Off we go. Now this one's going to be easy, and we're going to do it well. We're going to take a compass bearing and boogie straight to the larger track. And then once we get on that, we're right by the fork, and we'll go up the thinner trail, the less substantial trail. And this is fast, easy moving, and we know exactly where we are from the bend in the trail. And then when we get to the fork, that tells us we're just about there. It's kind of our attack point. And there we go. And it's to the side of a large boulder. That darkened triangle indicates boulder.
I think we'll be doing that soon.
Okay, from 5 to 6, and we're going to make another mistake. This time we're actually pulling to the left. Looking at this, it would have made sense to grab the trail that's just to the left of the bearing line on our map, and then you take it to where the stone wall ends, and then use that as an attack point. Unfortunately, I didn't have any problems with getting 5, so I'll just take a compass bearing and we'll be fine. And I know I don't have adhesion as I'm moving through, but I think I know where I am, and I think we're fine. And you know, that's the kind of thinking that can mess you up. We'll come along. Periodically we're scanning, trying to pick up clues where we might be. There's not a whole lot of information where we are at the moment, which in itself is information. Okay, and we're looking at that wall, and we're taking it to mean something that it's not telling us. We're really misinterpreting the ground here. But then I see a control, and I head straight for it, and I punch it, and then I realize my mistake. So let's look at the map. The rock face that has the red arrow is where I am at, and I've convinced myself that never mind, it faces southeast-east, that somehow it's the one with the green arrow which faces northwest-west, and that the stone wall that you see circled in red is somehow the stone wall with the green oval. Never mind that there are no trails near Control 6. What happens is your brain starts telling you things that you want to believe, and this is the danger. You know, doubt can ruin you, but also believing what you want to believe. I look at the number on the control. I've realized my mistake. I feel very silly. And I'm going to take a straight compass azimuth to number 6 and move over to this ground. And sure enough, we cross that trail and we come across some rocks. And it'll be just on the other side of this rise. And there it is.
Okay, now we're back.
All right, getting back to 7 will be quick and easy because we were just there. So reverse the compass and go right back to where we were before. Head banging in frustration is allowed if you'd like. Okay, we'll punch into 7. It's at the face bottom of rock cliff face. Alright, this next one is pretty straightforward. We're going to basically go drop down to the valley here, and then we're going to pick up a trail. And this gentleman is on the orange as well, and I'd like to pass him in part to kind of keep myself honest and not just do whatever he does. But also to try and use up some time. So brisk pace, grab the trail, onto the trail, and then so I had this Sony action camera, and there's a lot to like about it, but battery life is not one of them. Fortunately, I have a magic box, aka an iPhone, so I'm going to hold that against my chest as my backup camera. I am in the future going to go back to using a different action camera for these, and I'll talk about that in the description. But anyway, we cross the road again, and we're on this trail. We get to the intersection. There's the stone wall. I should be good to go. But again, some nagging doubt. So I'm going to go back to the intersection, really confirm, yep, we're definitely where we want to be. All the pieces come together. Past the stone wall, bend in the trail. Okay, coming out to where it's opening up because of the bodies of water, and there's the control. Right, and as it says, it's in between two swampy areas. Yep, that checks out. And there you can see my fingers in the ident, because again, I'm holding the camera against my chest instead of using an overhead shot. This one's going to be pretty easy. We'll stay on the trail. All right, keep our head on a swivel, and we're looking for one of 3 foundations. So I'm not going to bother using the compass. Instead, I'll just take the trail up, keep my head on a swivel, especially to the right, and then as soon as I see the foundations, I'll pull off the trail and punch in. This is another reminder that a really old map that shows a building. The building may not be there, but the foundations or some remnant of it probably are. Okay, it's time to head home. Cross this stone wall, or 2 stone walls rather, and then some brush is slowing us down a bit, but that stone wall marks the road. And I could have taken the road into the entrance of the driveway. I decided to not go quite that far, but at the same time there's some old fence material to kind of maneuver around. And so once we break into the parking lot, we've hit the corner of it, and it's a quick, easy run to the end of the course. And that's job done.
Alright.
This is what the entire course looks like. And after I did the orange, I did the white for some extra fun. And my own boys did the white, and then they went off on orange. We were hoping they might do yellow, but they were also successful. So, job well done, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I hope you found this educational and entertaining. And I want to be a big thanks to our host for setting up this very fine course and giving us all a grand day out. Take care.